Hi, I'm Natalie. Most people see me as just another middle aged woman living in a modest two-bedroom house in the suburbs, driving a 6-year-old Honda. What they don't see is the $33 million sitting in various accounts and investments. That's how I prefer it. Mom, why can't we move to Lakeside Heights like Emma's family? This neighborhood is so embarrassing. That was my daughter Vanessa at 15, already obsessed with status. We have everything we need right here, honey. I'd say this while juggling bills at our kitchen table, not mentioning the company I was building night after night while she slept. It wasn't always like this. When Mark was alive, we were a happy little family. He died when Vanessa was just 7. Unexpected heart attack at 38. Life insurance barely covered the funeral and 3 months of expenses. I remember sitting in our living room surrounded by sympathy casseroles, wondering how I'd raise our daughter alone. "You're the strongest woman I know," my best friend Diana told me that night. "You'll figure it out." I did figure it out. Started with data entry during the day and coding at night. My background in computer science wasn't wasted after all. By the time Vanessa was in high school, my cybersecurity protocols were being implemented by 3 mid-sized companies. "Late night again, Natalie?" my neighbor Richard would ask when he'd see my lights on at 2 a.m. He became a mentor, helping me navigate the business world. "You're sitting on gold here. Don't sell yourself short." I didn't. 4 years ago, I sold my company for $33 million. Signed the papers, deposited the check, then went home and made spaghetti for dinner. Never told a soul except Diana and my lawyer. "You're insane! Buy yourself something nice," Diana had squealed over coffee. "I have everything I need. This money is security, not a lifestyle change." Meanwhile, Vanessa was becoming someone I barely recognized. College turned into graduate school, all on my dime, yet she became increasingly embarrassed by me. "Could you at least get some highlights? And maybe clothes that don't scream clearance rack?" she'd say when I visited her at school. The final straw came last Christmas. Vanessa brought home her boyfriend Bradley, both of them looking down their noses at my holiday decorations. "Sorry about all this," she whispered to him. "Mom never really succeeded in life." I heard it all from the kitchen. Said nothing. Just served them my homemade apple pie. Then yesterday, the invitation arrived. Thick cream envelope, gold embossing. Vanessa was marrying Bradley at the Grand Plaza Hotel downtown. The card mentioned his family's generous hosting, with no acknowledgement of my existence beyond being mother of the bride. I ran my fingers over the expensive paper and made my decision. I would go to this wedding. I would smile and play my part. And I would continue to stay silent about the $33 million. For now. The Grand Plaza Hotel was exactly as pretentious as it sounded. I adjusted my department store dress, navy blue, modest, the nicest thing I owned, and handed my 12-year-old Honda to a valet who looked at it like I'd offered him a dead fish. "Mrs. Winters, you actually came." Bradley's mother, Patricia, air-kissed near my cheeks, her diamond earrings probably worth more than my car. "What an interesting dress choice." "Thank you for hosting this beautiful wedding." Well, someone had to give Vanessa the day she deserves. Though I was surprised to learn her mother couldn't contribute. Financial difficulties are so common these days. I spotted Vanessa across the ballroom in her designer gown, deliberately not looking my way. Guests in expensive attire clustered around her, everyone laughing too loudly. "Natalie, thank God you're here." Diana appeared beside me, champagne flute in hand. "I've been surrounded by peacocks for an hour. I'm pretty sure I'm seated at the people we had to invite table." "You are." I checked. Right next to the bathrooms with the second cousins and work acquaintances. I switched our place cards. "You're sitting with me now." During dinner, Bradley's father, Richard Sr., clinked his glass. "As we all know, throwing this wedding has been our pleasure since Vanessa's side of the family couldn't quite manage it." Polite laughter rippled through the crowd. Poor thing came from such humble beginnings, but we don't hold that against her. More laughter. "She's moved up in the world, joining the Anderson family." I felt Diana's hand squeeze mine under the table. Now it's time for the bride and groom to say a few words. Bradley stood first, champagne sloshing. I'd like to thank my amazing parents for this incredible wedding. And Vanessa, thank you for bringing your beauty and class to our family. Lord knows you didn't get it from your upbringing. Vanessa giggled as she took the microphone. It's true. Mom, stand up so everyone can see you. Hundreds of eyes turned to me. I stood slowly. This is my mom, everyone. Still wearing the same clothes she's had for decades. Still living in that tiny house. Still driving that embarrassing car. Snickers spread through the room. I used to be so ashamed bringing friends over. Remember that, Bradley? Our first date? I made you pick me up at the corner because I didn't want you to see where I lived. Best decision you ever made, babe. Bradley high-fived his father. Mom never really figured out how to succeed in life. But look at me now. Vanessa twirled in her designer gown. Guess I broke the cycle. The room erupted in laughter. I remained standing, face neutral, eyes locked with my daughters. To breaking cycles. Bradley's father raised his glass. I slowly sat down as the toasts continued. Diana leaned over, furious. These people are disgusting. Let's leave. Not yet, I replied, taking a sip of water. My mind was suddenly crystal clear. I've been silent long enough. It's time they learned who they're really dealing with. I smiled politely as the cake was served, already planning my next move. 3 days after the wedding disaster, I sat in James's law office, still seething. He'd been my attorney since I started my company, one of the few people who knew about my wealth. They publicly humiliated you and you just sat there? James shuffled through his papers, adjusting his glasses. I've learned when to fight and when to plan. This requires planning. Well, I've got something interesting. That wealthy family isn't as loaded as they pretend. Bradley's father's company is struggling, and guess what? Your darling daughter and son-in-law are neck-deep in debt. How deep? The wedding cost nearly $200,000. They've also got a mortgage on that McMansion in Lakeside Heights that's underwater already. They put nothing down. I leaned forward. Tell me more. They're counting on Bradley's parents bailing them out. But here's the kicker. Bradley Sr. needs investors for his failing tech division. Without new capital in 30 days, the whole house of cards collapses. Interesting timing. I've been considering some new investments. That afternoon, I called an old friend. Natalie? It's been ages. Richard's voice brought back memories. He was Vanessa's godfather, though she'd forgotten that connection years ago. I need your expertise, Richard, and your discretion. We met at his office downtown. Richard had become a respected finance consultant after retiring from tech. So your own daughter has no idea you're worth millions? That's some serious restraint, Nat. I wanted her to value work, not money. Failed spectacularly at that. And now you want to teach a lesson. Bradley's failing project. I want to be the anonymous angel investor they're desperately seeking. Richard whistled. Cold. I love it. But why anonymous? I'll reveal myself at the perfect moment. Can you make the initial contact? They'd recognize my name. Consider it done. But Natalie, are you sure about this? Once you go down this road, they mocked me in front of hundreds of people, called me a failure, my own daughter. Say no more. I'll set everything up through my investment group. 1 week later, Richard called with an update. They took the bait. Bradley and his father are practically salivating. The mysterious investor willing to save their project? They're desperate to meet. Excellent. And the other part? All set. My assistant has been collecting evidence social media posts from the wedding mocking you, the speech recordings, everything. Plus, I've got documentation of their financial house of cards. That evening, my phone rang. It was Vanessa. First time she'd called in months. Mom? How are you? I'm fine, Vanessa. Congratulations again on your wedding. Thanks. Listen, Bradley and I were wondering if we could stop by tomorrow. Just to catch up? Of course, honey. Any special occasion? No, just miss you and, we might need a tiny favor. I smiled to myself. I'll be home all day. Come by whenever. After hanging up, I texted Diana. It's happening. They need money. She replied instantly. The nerve. After that wedding? What's your plan? Wait for the company gala next week. Bradley's big night to impress his mystery investor. You're not. I absolutely am, and I've got front row tickets to the show. The next day, Vanessa and Bradley arrived at my modest home, all smiles and fake warmth. Your house is so cozy, Mom. Vanessa straightened a throw pillow. Bradley cleared his throat. Great to see you again, Natalie. Sorry if things got rowdy at the wedding. Just good fun. So, Mom, we're in a bit of a tight spot, just temporary. We need a loan, Bradley interrupted. Just $30,000. We'll pay you back soon. That's a lot of money for someone who never succeeded in life. Vanessa blushed. I didn't mean that. It was wedding jitters. I'll think about it. Actually, I'm attending your company's gala this weekend. Bradley's eyes widened. You're coming to that? 1 week later, I arrived at the Anderson Financial Group gala in a designer dress that cost more than Bradley's monthly salary. Diana and James flanked me, with Richard meeting us inside. Bradley Sr. was on stage. Tonight, we meet our mysterious angel investor saving our tech division with a $33 million investment. Bradley Jr. joined his father, Vanessa watching adoringly from the front row. Will our generous investor please join us on stage? I walked up confidently, taking the microphone. Hello, everyone. I'm Natalie Winters, mother of the bride, apparent failure and embarrassment to my daughter and son-in-law. The room went silent. Vanessa's face drained of color. I'm also the founder of Secure Shield Technologies, which I sold 4 years ago for $33 million. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Richard started a video projection showing clips from the wedding speeches and social media posts mocking my lifestyle. I lived modestly by choice, hoping to teach my daughter the value of character over appearances. Bradley Sr. stuttered. But the investment is withdrawn. I don't invest in people who mock others for their perceived economic status. Vanessa rushed toward me, tears streaming. Mom, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. We can fix this. You showed me exactly who you are when you thought I had nothing to offer. Please, we need that money. The house, the cars. Perhaps you should have thought about that before the public humiliation. Bradley's father stepped forward. We can work something out. No. Your company's financial records show mismanagement that no investor should touch. That information goes to your board tomorrow. I left the stage, joining my real friends by the exit. 6 months later, I sat on the deck of my new beach house with Diana, Richard, and James watching the sunset. Bradley's family company had undergone massive restructuring. Vanessa and Bradley had downsized to an apartment after their foreclosure. My phone buzzed with another message from Vanessa, her 20th apology attempt. I deleted it without reading and raised my glass. To true success, knowing who your real friends are. Was Natalie justified in completely cutting off her daughter and destroying her financial future? Or should family bonds be given second chances regardless of the humiliation suffered? What would you have done with the $33 million if you were in Natalie's position after being publicly mocked by your own child? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this one. Your support helps our channel grow, and I'd love to hear your perspective.